seem like it was, anything that just happened. And from, from the little tidbits and a little bit of theorizing and information I'm getting from this, more than likely, I bet I'm sure something happened, but I think it didn't just happen out of the blue like it seemed like online. I'm sure that it was like a building process that, like, you know, I still think something happened that, maybe we're going to learn about, maybe we're not. But yeah, it could all be factors that led to it. It definitely wasn't good in the As I Lay Dying camp towards the end of it.
It's about as far as choreography goes in our genre. So I just really want to, you know, connect with the crowd, see where the energy is there, and um, just let my subconscious sort of take over.
Are there any songs that you're particularly excited or nervous about performing live?
Uh, the combination of nervousness and excitement is exactly how most bands feel, at least for me, about playing new songs, because it's exciting and fresh and new, but then the audience doesn't quite know it the way they know the other songs. So there's not like, no matter how good the song is. I mean, for instance, our highest stream song I think to date now is "My Own Grave," but the whole first like 6 months we played that song on tour, the crowd would sit there like, oh, you could tell they were like kind of enjoying the song, but they weren't really interacting, right? Because it was like new. I think part of it too, if you tell the audience it's a new song, they like almost like will stop moving and just like observe, so it's
Yeah.
not. You
All right, comment down below. Who rambles worse, Tim or me? I usually don't. I don't ever do a video like this, like right off the rip. But like, I mean, I had to. I mean, still as of right now, yeah, 5 views. I mean, this is nuts. But hopefully we get something good.
So whatever that is, and then it just takes a certain amount of time. So yeah, it's that nervousness and excitement all at the same time, and so I have a love hate relationship with playing new songs.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you think the album's going to go down with the fans as you start to take this on tour now?
I think so. I mean, so far, we've released 4 songs, which is new era, by the way. Like, back in the day, you would never release more than 2 singles, because people were going out and buying a physical CD or vinyl, and people still buy vinyl, of course, which is really cool from a collector standpoint. But now we're in this age where like some bands don't even do albums; they just do a bunch of singles, and so we're trying to like hybridize that to some degree, where we have this concept of singles to get people engaged in like the streaming platforms, but we don't want to give away the whole album because we want the the vinyl and all of that stuff to still have an exciting release.
Exactly. Yeah, of course.
So it's something I'm really proud of the new record, and I really think that our fan base so
Hoping,
far for the four
hoping we
singles
get
that we
something.
have has seen a little bit of the diversity, and that's important to us too, because when a band only releases 1 or 2 singles, I think one of the things is the criticism of like, well, this single's cool, but it doesn't have this element. And it's like, well, of course, there's 10 songs on the album. We can't put all elements
Yeah.
in one song. Yeah.
That's very good. And we've got just a minute left. So 25 years now, I believe it is, and the metalcore scene has evolved significantly. How do you see As I Lay Dying?
Okay, yeah. With a minute left, yeah, they're just talking about like my best guess is probably a channel this small, like, yeah, 26 subscribers, you know, 5 views. Like, I'm surprised I even came across this. The first interview during all this happening, when everyone else is like talking about it's like the biggest thing in metalcore news right now. My best guess is that I bet every other interview, if I was an interviewer, I would want to ask him about it. I would want to ask him about the drama and stuff going on. My best guess is that maybe this was one of the few people that was fine interviewing him and not talking about it. I mean, we'll keep watching, and then I'll search and just see if there's any updates through either any new interviews or updates on YouTube or Facebook. But it doesn't seem like we're gonna get anything. It's a bummer, man.
Contributing to the evolution of the genre as we move forward?
Well, I don't, claim by any means to be an inventor of metalcore, and I know there's funny, uh, comments from other bands that have said something like that, and then get criticized for claiming to invent the genre. We're far from being one of the first, but we are definitely in that wave of bands that really developed the genre into what it is today. If you were to almost stereotypically think of what is metalcore, especially the classic, quote unquote, classic metalcore sound, right? People are most likely going to think of, As I Dying and Killswitch Engage, and
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not actually really sure beyond that. I mean, like those are sort of like the two.
Yeah.
They're always, the top five class. And we may not be their favorite band, but they'll recognize us as sort of like, an example of the classic metalcore sound. And I think that's something that's really cool for me to be able to say after all these years, is that um, we didn't invent something, but we sure helped develop it.
You
And
certainly helped
a
perfect
lot
it.
of these younger bands have said like, hey, it's really cool to like that you came out to our show because you influenced, why we got started. And that's like something that really just makes me feel really, really good, because I look back on thrash bands that I grew, and I say the same thing to them. When I go hang out, with Gary Holt and Exodus, right? I'm like, Gary, it's just so cool that we're friends now, because
Yeah.
I literally wouldn't have, picked up a guitar and played, half the songs that I've written in my career if it wasn't for your bands, and it's cool to be able to like return that favor, so to speak, to this
Completely.
generation. Yeah.
Superb. Well, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, cool. Thanks for making time to do this.
Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure, and best of luck with everything.
All right.
dang, man, the first interview, we get the post, we get this interview like 3 hours after. It's the first like video interview of him. I'm gonna see real fast and see if anything else comes up. Lambesis. Let's do filters. Can we do upload date? There's the Logan show. I don't even know why the interview I'm watching doesn't even come up. That's weird. Can you go back to it? Yeah, I mean, it's still there. 5 views. 5 views, no comments, 26 subscribe. I mean, this is great. I mean, this whole, anyone that's been following the whole journey, it's crazy. And I mean, like, at this point, it really just is all theorizing. Like, no one's talking, no one's really giving specifics. There's Tim's crazy past history of everything that happened before. And like, I don't know, because it's like there was the crazy stuff that happened before. And because of that, so many people assume, they're like, oh, it's, probably the same type of thing. There was the rumor that went around that he was abusing his wife, but then his wife came out with a statement saying that's not true. And I mean, it makes sense that people might assume that it would be similar crazy things like what happened before. But I mean, also just a lot of times just stuff like this just happens with bands. I mean, there's a lot of times where bands break up and it's vague and you never get the real story. Either way, I mean, from his message, he's, dedicated to continue going on. And I don't know. I mean, people might have signed NDAs, or I don't know. My best guess, maybe people are worried about, I don't know if people are worried about being sued, or like, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. You would think that someone, even like anonymous, because I remember Tank the Tech, his video on this, he talked about how he's seen like anonymous posts where people talk about different things going on, but then it's anonymous, so you can't trace it. So, I mean, maybe only a handful of people know what's really going on in the background. And so then maybe if someone did do an anonymous post, then they would all be investigated for possibly breaking an NDA. Like, I don't know. I'm sure people are looking into it. I'm sure like someone could get to the bottom of it, but I mean, I feel like it could be as simple as potentially as simple as just regular band matters, or a lot of people are just like, oh, it's just Tim being Tim, which is still pretty vague because it's like, I mean, are they trying to say he hired a hitman on like people in the band, or I don't know. I mean, anyway, I think that about wraps it up. I never do videos like this. I think I mentioned in the beginning of the video, but just in case you missed it, part of the reason I wanted to jump on this is I made a video recently talking about their financial situation called How Much Money As I Lay Dying Makes, breaking down net worth, how much band members make. And I'm going to try to do more videos like that in the future, and, probably do some more deep dives into bands, finance, history, things like that, as well as my own band. I play in a metalcore band of my own called Winter Is Coming. I'll put all the links in the description. But anyway, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you guys, and tune in next time. See ya. Bye.